Hey guys, it's Mrs. Kleinley with this week's First Chapter Friday. This week I'm very excited to be talking to you about Merci Suarez Changes Gears by Medina. This is a stereotypical realistic fiction book. This story is about a very average kid doing very average things, but as we all know, we have a lot going on in our lives. So it kind of shows you a window into somebody else's life and maybe a culture that you're not super familiar with. So Merci Suarez is a sixth grader who lives in South Florida, and her family has actually purchased three identical little pink houses next to each other. So Mercy and her brother and her parents live in one home. Her father owns a painting business. Her mom is a physical therapist, and her brother is a high school senior. Her grandparents live in the house next to them. And next to them is where her aunt, who is a single mom, lives with her twin kindergarten boys. Mercy and her brother are on scholarship at a kind of hoity-toity private school, and they struggle a little bit, particularly Mercy, with fitting in with her classmates. They're not as affluent as the other families are that attend the school. Mercy has a little bit of a lazy eye, so her eye wanders. So some kids at school kind of make fun of her about that. She is very, very close with her grandparents, but something is up with her grandfather. And as it turns out in the story, her grandfather is diagnosed with something called Alzheimer's, which, if you're not familiar with, it's a brain disease that your memory really starts to go, and to the point where some people have a difficult time functioning independently. So she has a lot going on in her life, even though she's a totally normal kid. So we'll jump right in with chapter 1 of Merci Suarez Changes Gears. To think, only yesterday I was in Chancellota's sipping lemonade and watching my twin cousins run through the sprinkler in the yard. Now I'm here in Mr. Pachat's class, sweating in my polyester school blazer and waiting for this torture to be over. We're only halfway through health and PE when he adjusts his tight collar and says, "Time to go." I stand up and push in my chair like we're always supposed to, grateful that picture day means that class ends early. "Coming, Miss Suarez?" he asks as he flips off the lights. That's when I realize I'm the only one still waiting for him to tell us to line up. Everyone else has already headed out the door. This is sixth grade, so there won't be one of the PTA moms walking us down to the photographer. Last year, our escort pumped us up by gushing the whole way about how handsome and beautiful we all looked on the first day of school, which was a stretch since a few of us had mouthful of braces or big gaps between our front teeth. But that's over now. Here at Seaward Pines Academies, sixth graders don't have the same teacher all day like Miss Miller in fifth grade. Now we have homerooms and lockers. We switch classes. We can finally try out for sports teams, and we know how to get ourselves down to the picture day just fine. Or at least the rest of my class does. I grab my new book bag and hurry out to join the others. It's a wall of heat out here. It won't be a far walk, but August in Florida is brutal. So it doesn't take long for my glasses to fog up and my curls at my temples to spring into tight coils. I try my best to stick to the shade near the building, but it's hopeless. The slate path that winds to the front of the gym cuts right across the quad, where there's not a single scrawny palm tree to shield us. It makes me wish we had one of those thatch roof walkways that my grandfather Lolo can build out of fronds. "How do I look?" someone asks. I dry my lenses on my shirt tail and glance over. We're all in the same uniform, but some of the girls got special hairdos for the occasion. A few were even flat ironed. You can tell from the little burns on their necks. Too bad they don't have some of my curls. Not that everyone appreciates them, of course. Last year, a kid named Dylan said that I looked like a lion, which was fine with me since I love those big cats. Mommy is always nagging me about keeping it out of my eyes, but she doesn't know that hiding behind it is the best part. This morning, she slapped a school-issued headband on me. All it's done so far is give me a headache and make my glasses sit crooked. "Hey," I said, "it's a broiler out here. I know a shortcut." The girls stop in a glob and look at me. The path I'm pointing to is clearly marked with a sign, "Maintenance crews only. No students beyond this point." No one in the crowd is much for breaking rules, but sweat is already beating up over their glossed lips, so maybe they'll be sensible. They're looking to one another, but mostly to Edna Santos. Come on, Edna, I say, deciding to go straight to the top. It's faster, and we're melting out here. She frowns at me, considering the options. She may be a teacher's pet, but I've seen Edna bend a ruler too. You'll want to look sweaty in your pictures? I say. Cha-ching. In no time, I'm leading the pack of us along the gravel path. Back here is where Seaward hides the riding mowers and all of the other untidy equipment they need to make the campus look like the brochures. Poppy and I parked here last summer when we did some painting as a trade for our book fees. I don't tell anyone that though, because mommy says it's a private matter. But mostly I keep quiet because I'm trying to erase the memory. Seaward's gym is ginormous, so it took us 3 whole days to paint it. Plus, our school colors are fire engine red and gray. You know what happens when you stare at bright red too long? You can start to see green balls in front of your eyes every time you look away. Try doing detail work in that blinded condition. For all that, the school should give me and my brother Rolly a whole library, not just a few measly textbooks. Poppy had other ideas, of course. Do a good job in here, he insisted, so they know we're serious people. I hate when he says that. Do people think we're clowns? It's like we've always got something to prove. Okay, guys, our book again this week is Merci Suarez Changes Gears by Meg Medina. I liked it for a lot of reasons. Personally, the setting is very close to where my parents live, so a lot of the places that they were talking about visiting are areas that I'm familiar with in South Florida. I also loved it because I love learning about different cultures, and the Cuban culture is not something I'm super familiar with, so I was definitely able to get a little bit of a better understanding of what the Cuban culture is like. And I just always love reading realistic fiction. That is my favorite genre to read. So I give this one 2 thumbs up for sure. This book is found in our realistic fiction section under MED for Medina. As you can see from the cover, it is a Newbery winning book, and we know Newbery awards are given for books that have great stories. Caldecott's are for great illustrations, Newberys are great stories. So I'm not the only one who likes this book, obviously. I hope you enjoy. Happy reading.